everyone, welcome back to the Yoga Challenge. Today is the first day of the second week. What we're going to be doing differently today is going to be having a band around our lower ribs. So what I'm going to be exactly where my band is, so the red line here, that's where the band should be. For those who have received from us a band that's just like an elastic, I know it doesn't look like this, but what I'm going to ask you to do is to bring it from the back and attach a knot in the front, and just place it so that it's comfortable enough for you to be able to breathe fully, at the same time that you're just bringing awareness of where it is. It should be really hugging around the lower ribs down here. Okay, so whenever you're ready, find yourself comfortable on the mat. We're going to be starting off in a seated position. So from here, whenever you're ready, close your eyes. And just again to contrast between the relaxation and the contraction of the muscles, I'm going to ask you first to clench your fists all together very, very tight and relax. And tighten your toes as much as possible and relax. Clench the muscles of the face, doing the biggest grimace possible and relax. And bring the shoulders up to the ears and bring them back down. One hand on the chest, one hand on the abdomen here. And again, just tuning inwards in how we're breathing. And reminding you to just breathe in and out to the nose. And expanding, if possible, now with the awareness of the band around your lower ribs. Trying to expand that area more than the hand on the chest. Notice if when you're breathing this way, other parts of your body is tightening up because it just needs more concentration. So whenever you're ready, we're going to be doing again the same exercise we did in the first week. The Nadi Shodhana, the breathing, the alternative nostril breathing. So just for a reminder, when I say right, you block the right. When I say left, you block the left nostril. And we're going to be doing the inhale and exhale through one of the nostrils. It will always be on the count of 3. So 3 will inhale, 3 will hold, and 3 will exhale. So whenever you're ready, I'm going to ask you to exhale completely. Out, 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 and inhale right. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale left. 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale right. 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale left. 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale right. 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale left. 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale right. 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Take a deep breath again at your natural pace. And whenever you're ready, I'm going to ask you to take your arms up towards the ceiling. You can keep your eyes closed here. If you prefer, you can open them. We're going to bring the left hand to the floor. Right arm comes towards the right ear. We're side bending. Maybe the left elbow goes onto the floor, maybe not. From here, if it's available to you, grab hold of your neck with the right hand. Inhale, look at your elbow. And exhale, I'm just going to ask you, try to touch the elbow, the right elbow onto the floor. Inhale, coming back up. Again, this does not have to look like this. Exhale, you can also just bring the hand to meet the left. Inhale, reaching up here. Exhale. Inhale. One last time, exhale, inhale, and we're coming back to center. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, right hand comes onto the floor, left arm comes up towards the ear. Maybe the right elbow goes onto the floor, maybe not. Your choice. Maybe the left hand goes behind the right ear, behind the neck. And from here, we're going to try to bring the left hand onto the floor. Exhale, inhale, coming back up. Exhale to the floor. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale to the floor. One last time, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, coming back up. We're going to go for a spinal twist. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, right hand to the left knee. Twisting, looking backwards. With every inhale, trying to lengthen as much as possible. And with every exhale, use that extra space that you created with the inhale to twist a little bit further. And when you're ready, come back to center. Same thing on the other side. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, left hand onto the right knee. Twist, looking behind your right shoulder. And imagine here that your core is like a damp towel and trying to rinse everything out. When you're ready, coming back to center. From here, we're going to go onto all fours. Again, remember to try to spread your fingers as much as possible and keeping the index fingers nice and parallel to each other. Keep the knees below the hips, the shoulders above the wrists. And from here, tuck your back toes and see how it feels if you just hover your knees above the floor. Keeping the spine nice and neutral so the gaze looks a little bit forward in front of your fingers. And from here, if it's available, stay. If not, then just lower the knees back onto the floor. Your choice. But we're going to do the same exercise as we did in the first week. So from here in a neutral spine, we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together and we're going to bring them back out. So if that was available to you and you feel nice and confident, you can do it a couple times with the knees on the floor. But when it's available to you, try to hover the knees above the floor and do the same exercise. You'll notice the core firing differently. So we're just going to do 3 more like this. 1 more. And then you can bring the knees back onto the floor. From here, we're going to be doing the cat-cows. So inhaling, gazing upwards, arching the back as much as possible. Exhaling, rounding through the spine. Inhaling, arching back. Exhaling, rounding through. Inhale, arching back. Exhale, rounding through. And this time, if it's available to you, tuck your toes underneath and do the same thing with the knees above the floor. Inhale, arching back. Exhale, rounding through. Inhale, arching back. Exhale, rounding through. 1 more time like this. Inhale, arching back. Exhale, rounding through. Back to neutral. And from here, we're just going to lower the knees back onto the floor. You can untuck the toes underneath here. We're just going to reach our arms up towards the front of the mat, keeping the hips above the knees. And allow yourself to melt down towards the mat. Notice the breath. Notice if your abdomen is expanding, if it's relaxing. Notice if you can relax completely here and noticing that the abdomen on the inhale is opening up naturally, and on the exhale you're contracting voluntarily. When you're ready, you can reach the arms towards the left side, opening up to the right. Just a couple breaths here. One last big cycle of breath. When you're ready, go to the right side. Just noticing what it feels good for you. And try to respond to your body's demand. Okay, going back to neutral. Notice if there's any changes from before compared to now. And remembering that the alignment that we're trying to find is from the wrist all the way to the tailbone, finding one nice straight line as we're going to be going into our downward dog. So when you're ready, we're going to go back on our all fours. So the wrists right underneath the shoulders, the knees right underneath the hips, and from here tucking the toes underneath, keeping the fingers nice and spread out, index fingers parallel to each other. And from here, keeping the back nice and straight and try to lift the hips as high as possible. And from here, really trying to press down with your hands and keeping your bum as high as possible. From here, if it's available to you, then maybe you want to try to straighten as much as possible the left leg. Taking a deep breath in here. And exhale. And the same thing on the other side, so lifting both toes, going on the tiptoes of both feet and dropping the right ankle towards the floor. Inhale. And exhale. Nice, and maybe now you just want to switch a couple times at your own pace. Noticing how it feels here. Remembering that we're still trying to keep that alignment from the wrist all the way to the tailbone. And keeping that momentum of walking the dog, so just rocking from side to side, can you try to start adding some little steps? Bring the feet closer to your hands. If your band has slowed down or if it's no longer at its place, take a moment here to just readjust it. And if it's already all good for you, bend your knees as much as needed. Keep the belly button onto the thighs. Allow the head to hang heavy here. Cross your arms so that your arms are just nice and steady here. You can just sway from side to side. Notice if one side is easier than the other. Notice where your weight is distributed in your feet. Is it more in the heels or if it's in the toes? Notice how it feels if you go onto your tiptoes and if you go onto your heels. So just back and forward here. Keeping the head nice and heavy. And when you're ready, bring your hands, no matter where they are on the legs, maybe they're up here, your choice, but we're going to try to lengthen our spine, having that spine nice and flat. And exhale, trying to go a little bit deeper. We're going to do 2 more breaths like this. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, allowing yourself to melt back down. One last time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, melting back down. From here, try to stack vertebrae by vertebrae. So you're going to be finding yourself slowly in a standing position, allowing the head to be the last part of your body to come back on top of the rest of the body here. Good. So I'm just going to be facing you because it's going to be easier this way. I'm going to ask you to shift your weight onto the left foot. Bring the right knee towards your chest as much as possible. And we're going to be going into the tree posture, just like what we did last time. So if you can, bring the right foot on the left inner thigh, left inner calf, your choice. Avoiding the knee area would be best. Again, just placing one hand on the chest, one hand on the abdomen. Noticing where your weight is distributed in the feet. Trying to balance out all 3 corners. 3 corners being the big toe, the small toe, and the heel. And from here, as you're having your hands on your chest and on your abdomen, try to notice where the breath is coming from. Try to notice if you can tune in and really be present in the practice here. What we were mentioning last time about the values, imagining that our feet is where like our roots are, our values are. No matter what happens during the day or in our life, all the events are just making us move. And if we're strongly rooted in our roots, we have a solid base, and we know where to come back to. So even if you fall, just come back with the same intention you had in the beginning. From here, we're just going to be lifting the right knee up as high as possible without holding with our hands. And we're going to be placing the right knee over the right ankle over the left knee. And from here, we're going to imagine like we're sitting down on a chair. So this might be a little bit tricky for some of you. But if you prefer, you can have your hands on the floor. You can have your hands on the sofa, for example, if it's easier. This is just to help you with balance, okay? So what we're doing here is opening up through the glutes. You should have a nice stretch through the glutes here. At the same time, the other leg is still keeping you balanced. Good. And when you're ready, you're just going to slide that right foot on the left side of the left leg. So you're going to be finding yourself in a cross-legged position here like this. And again, just cross your arms. Allow yourself to be nice and heavy and notice how it feels here. Notice with every inhale, the lower ribs expanding. And with every exhale, you're melting a little bit further in the practice. When you're ready, again, stack the bones one on top of each other. Allow the head to be the last part of your body to come back up. And we're going to be shifting sides. So we're going to be shifting our weight onto the right foot. Left knee comes to the chest. Hug your knee with your hands to make it a little bit easier. And when you're ready, place the left foot onto the right inner thigh or inner calf, your choice. One hand on the abdomen, one hand on the chest. And just notice the breath here. This is a good time to come back to the intention that we have in the beginning of the practice of realizing that if our breath is altering a little bit from where we initially started from, then this is a way to consciously try to come back to this moment of breath where it's just flawless and continuous in a rhythmical way. And if you can't, then that means maybe you have to back off. So maybe just bring the leg a little bit lower, maybe having a little bit of support with the floor. It's all up to you. It's your body and it's up to you to notice what is good for it. Bring the left knee as high as possible to your chest, and this time flex the left ankle, placing it over the right knee, and imagine that you're sitting back. So you're having a nice stretch here, at the same time finding balance through the right leg. Maybe keeping the hands on the abdomen and the chest, just coming back to the breath, noticing if it's too hard. You can always have support to keep the balance. And when you're ready, you're going to slide that left foot all the way to the floor, so it's going to be landing on the right side of the right foot. Allow yourself to melt forwards, crossing the arms, and just take deep breaths here. Allowing the head to be nice and heavy. Notice if there's areas of tension in your body, if there's muscles that are guarding this position. Don't forget that this is a safe space, that your body is not going to collapse, and you can learn how to soften the areas of tension. In yoga, we talk about finding comfort within discomfort. And this is a way of thinking that can be applied in our whole life. One last cycle of breath over here. And when you're ready, let go of the arms and unravel one vertebrae at a time, stacking on top of each other, allowing the head to be the last part, coming back to neutral. And stack your feet next to each other from here. Just going to be asking you to bring your feet together. So they're right next to each other. One hand on the chest, one hand on the abdomen. And notice the differences over here. Notice how grounded you are. How strong you are. Notice which muscles are turning on and off to keep you upright. And when you're ready, lift your arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, dive down, trying to reach the floor. Remember, you don't have to reach the floor. You can bend your knees as much as needed. From here, we're just going to go into our plank position. So one foot at a time goes towards the back. And from here, if it's easy, we're going to be challenging ourselves to try to bring our shoulder blades together and bring them apart. If it's too difficult, again, remember you can bend the knees and do the same thing, or you can bring the knees onto the floor and do the same thing. So if you choose the variation that's best for you. Shoulder blades together and apart. We're going to do 3 more times like this. 2 more. And 1 more. Good. From here, we're going to be lifting our hips as high as possible. And when it's ready, allow yourself to go into your downward dog. If it's available to you, if you feel you have enough space and it's comfortable, try to bring your ankles towards the floor. If not, remember you can always come back to our tiptoes, as we're always trying to find the length from our wrists all the way to the tailbone. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to be bringing the right leg forwards. So from here, try as much as you can, even if you're on tiptoes, lift the right leg as high as possible, bend the knee, and bring the foot in between your hands. Allow the knee to keep nice and straight. Gaze forwards, inhale, and exhale, straighten the leg as much as possible while you're keeping your belly button onto the thigh. Inhale, gazing forwards. Exhale, trying to straighten the leg, keeping the belly button onto the thigh. One more time like this. And exhale. From here, no matter where you are, if you're bent a little bit, if you're very bent, no matter what it feels like, what we're trying to find is a sensation of stretch behind the thigh, so in the hamstrings. With every inhale, trying to notice the expansion, and with every exhale, allow yourself to melt a little bit deeper. Inhale, expand. Exhale, a little bit deeper. One last deep breath in like this. And exhale deeper. Good. From here, we're going to be bending through the front leg as much as possible. And if you have a chair over here, if you have blocks, anything that can help you to support, or even if your hands are just on the knees, try to shift your weight onto the right foot and lift the back leg as much as possible. Again, it does not have to be completely off the floor. You can still have it on the floor to keep balance. But we're asking you to try to lift, finding balance through the right leg. From here, if it's available, try to straighten that back leg. Find a nice straight line from our ankle all the way to the top of our head. Again, remember that you don't have to go through here. You can also have your foot on the floor to keep you balanced. You can have the hands on the chair, just lifting the leg as much as possible. We're staying here for 2 more deep breaths. One more. Good, and from here we're going to do something a little bit fancy. We're going to be bending our right knee and bringing the left knee towards the right side of our right ankle. So we're finding ourselves in a cross-legged position like this. With our inhale, we're going to lift ourselves as tall as possible, and exhale, we're going to be grabbing hold of our right knee and going for a twist. Good. Whenever you're ready, we're going to be coming back to center. And from here, we're just going to be coming back the way you guys are. Just going to ask you to roll onto your backs, unravel your legs, and just find yourself in a little bubble like this, and just rocking yourself forwards and back a couple times. Trying not to touch the feet on the floor, trying to control the way back up. And on our next one, we're going to place the feet on the floor and we're going to go back into a forward fold. This time, maybe with the legs a little bit further apart, it's all up to you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, melt yourself forwards. Inhale, reaching the arms up as high as possible. Exhale, melting yourself forwards. Inhale. We're going to be going back into our plank. Again, from here, your choice. Maybe you wish to have your knees onto the floor and doing the shoulders. Maybe you wish to hover your knees above the floor and doing the shoulders. And maybe you wish to have your legs in plank and doing the shoulders. Your choice. We're going to do 3, 2, and 1. And when you're ready, lift your tailbone as high as possible, going into our downward dog. Find a nice straight alignment from our wrist all the way to the tailbone. If it's available to you, bring the ankles, the heels onto the floor. And when you're ready, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So inhaling. If it's better for you, stay on your tiptoes. If not, you can go into your heels, your choice. Inhale, lift the left leg as high as possible, and exhale, bring the knee towards the chest, placing the foot in between your hands. Inhaling, gazing forwards, keeping the belly button onto the thigh, and exhale, trying to straighten the leg as much as possible. Inhaling, gazing forwards, bend through the front knee. Exhaling, going backwards, straightening the leg as much as possible. One last time. And exhale, straightening here. From here, no matter where you are, we're trying to find this lengthening sensation through the hamstrings. If it's available to you, try to reach your hands more forwards. And when you're ready, we're going to be bending as much as possible onto that front leg, trying to keep a nice straight alignment from the top of the head all the way to the right ankle. And from here, if you have a chair available to you, please take it. If not, you can also place your hands onto your knees and just maybe shimmy your feet forwards so you're shifting your weight onto the left foot, lifting the right leg up, and try to find balance here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. When you're ready, bring the right knee behind the left ankle so it lands onto the left side of the left ankle, and we're coming into a seated position with the left leg over. Inhale, lengthen as much as possible. Exhale, reaching that knee and twist towards the right and towards the left. And when you're ready, we're going to be rolling onto our mat. So going onto our back, untangle the legs, and we're just going to be going forwards and back a couple times. Good. And when you're ready, back onto our bum and go for the boat pose like we did last time. Trying to keep the back nice and straight, lengthen as much as possible. From here you have multiple choices. Maybe you wish to hold on to your hands behind your knees. Maybe you can let them go. And maybe you want to straighten one leg, maybe the other one, and maybe both at the same time. We're staying here for 3, 2, and 1. Relax. We're going onto our backs over here. And we're going to be holding on to our inner feet. If it's available to you, maybe your inner arches, maybe your big toe, your choice. But from here, we're going to try to keep a contact on the floor with our whole spine. So even the tailbone as much as possible. Noticing where it is. And with the hands, the arms, trying to bring the knees to come closer towards the mat, towards the floor. You should be feeling a nice sensation of stretch in your adductors, so in your inner thigh, maybe as well in your hamstrings. And over here, just notice the breath. Bring awareness back to the lower ribs being hugged by the elastic band. And from here, if you wish to have different variations, maybe you wish to try to straighten a little bit more, one leg at a time. Maybe you just wish to just shimmer from side to side, swing from side to side. It's all up to you. And when you're ready, you can stay here a little bit longer if it feels good. If you want to come back down, maybe you want to give yourself a nice big hug. And when you're ready, allow yourself to land into Shavasana, which is the corpse pose. So again, the corpse pose is a position where we're allowing ourselves to rest, to reap the benefits of the practice. If anyone were to come and try to lift a limb, they would just drop heavy, without resistance, onto the floor. Notice if you can go straight into that relaxation phase, or if you need, you can also clench all the muscles of your body and then relax if it helps you to find a way to relax a little bit better. In this state, we're bringing back awareness to our breath in a position of ease. Noticing how our breath flows when we bring awareness to it and we're in a state where we're completely safe. Where we're relaxed. Where we're present. And when you're ready, if you wish to, you can stay like this a little bit longer. For those who need to get going, you can already start moving a little bit your fingers and your toes, maybe your wrists and ankles. If your body's calling for it, you can give yourself a nice big stretch. And when you're ready, I'm going to ask you to roll onto your right side. Placing the left hand onto the floor to help you to come back to a comfortable seated position, keeping your eyes closed over here. One hand on the chest, one hand on the abdomen. Bring back awareness to our present state, our state of mind, the state of the body, and how those two states can coincide in our existence. When you're ready, we're going to bring our arms up towards the sky, the palms to touch, the thumbs nose to the third eye, the space in between your eyebrows for thoughts of love, to your lips for words of love, and to your heart center for actions driven with love. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste.